Leute, hey folks, I'm here with Deniz Kahn, founder and president of WATA Games. Hi Deniz, thank you for having me.
Thank you for
making
coming.
this interview happen. Okay, first question. First of all, for those who don't know it, what is WATA Games?
So WATA Games is, we are a certification company for video games, grading, authentication, confidence, all of that in one, giving you back your game. We're the premier certification company for games. We were founded in 2017, launched in 2018, and then July 1st of 2021, we were acquired by Collectors Universe, now Collectors. So we were used to be in Denver, now we're in Santa Ana, California, which is where we're at right now, sunny California, and that's what we do. So we love, obviously at a core, we're about providing the best quality service for grading and authentication, but we also work a lot to create other services, put out content, educational material, basically serve what collectors, both in America and hopefully a little bit more overseas in Germany, desire.
Perfect. So personal question. Since when you are a collector and how did you get into the hobby?
I've been collecting video games actively since 2007, but I've been playing video games. They've been a part of my life, most important part of my life since I was 3 years old. I started with, my dad is a comic collector, so I had been going to comic shows, conventions with him since I was 4, 5 years old.
Okay.
But I didn't read comics growing up. I played video games. So when I was a teenager, I started to collect video games, which was what I had a passion for, and then joined the forum Nintendo Age back in the day. That was a big forum in the US for collectors. And got to meet some friends. That was my community. So in middle school and high school, my friend, I had some friends, but my real friends were my collecting friends, And I also was a big reseller at that time. eBay, Craigslist, always just buying, reselling, cleaning, all of that stuff. But 2007 is roughly when I really started getting active.
Okay, good. How did you get the idea to start WATA?
Because I was coming from comics, or at least exposed to collectibles, I knew how important reliable third-party certification was. I was also a customer of VGAs for many years, and was just getting a little frustrated with sort of wanting to make it a better service, and not getting the feedback returned, or not seeing anything happen. And so what I said one day, I'm gonna do it myself. But I don't want to rival necessarily VGA or other video game grading companies. I wanted to be the best grading service for across every collectible, right? Better than coins, what existed, better than what existed for cards or comics. And so that's why we put so much thought into making a service that was a little different, more security, more thought into the product and into the service. And we started small, but as we've grown, I feel like we still have that desire to really be premier, right? Different than just putting games in cases, giving everything, information, variance, authenticity, all of it, right? Video games are very complicated. They're not like a card or something like that.
Yeah. Great. What is the holy grail of your personal collection?
For me, it's original video game art. So when I started getting, I collected cartridges and then CIB and then sealed. And after a certain point, I wanted the best of the best, which to me is original art. I have only Super Nintendo pieces because that was my first system. But Mickey Mania was the game that I played as a kid, and it's the only art that I have that's from a game that I played as a kid. And to me, it's one of one. It's the original cover by Greg Ray, and it can't be replicated. And so, you know, games are, I still love my games. I have specific game grails. Black Box, NES Black Box is, I have, I think, 17 sealed out of the 30.
Wow.
So I'm trying to get all 30 one day. Now it's so expensive. But Holy Grail is art.
Wow. I link a video below where Deniz shows his collection. Absolutely insane.
Thank you.
Hardest question for the day. Best game of all time.
Easiest.
Easy. Okay.
Final Fantasy VII.
Really?
That's my game. Now, if I'll cheat, I'll have 3 answers because they're pretty close.
Okay.
Final Fantasy VII, Zelda, Ocarina of Time, and actually PC, Red Alert 2.
Okay.
I don't know if you're
Command and Conquer.
Command and Conquer.
Yeah.
Those 3 games. I mean, those were the ones that just changed my life. You know, they had such an impact on me. But Final Fantasy VII was, at the age I was at when I played it, it just transformed. It was. I went on the adventure. You can't replicate it. I still watch speedrunning. I actually speedrun the game myself.
Really?
I'm not very good. I'm like not under 7 hours or anything like that, or 8 hours. But it's just such a everything. The music, the gameplay.
Awesome game.
Yeah, that's mine.
Totally understand.
Yeah. What's yours, by the way?
It's hard. I'm a big soccer fan.
Uh-huh.
So it's International Superstar Soccer Deluxe
Okay.
for
Super Nintendo.
Super Nintendo. Yeah, I would say
That's the one.
that's the one. I have a lot of games that I like, but for me, for my childhood, it was my game.
I had Super Soccer on
Yeah.
Super Nintendo. That's the one that I had as a kid.
Okay, yeah, also a good game. Super Nintendo, love.
Yeah.
Absolutely love. Okay, outside of the United States, which countries do you get the most submissions from?
Germany.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So outside, let's say outside of North America,
Yeah.
because
Canada,
it would be
I
Canada,
guess,
but
yeah.
that's cheating.
Yeah.
Overseas,
Overseas.
Germany is definitely number 1.
Wow. Okay, didn't know that.
Yeah.
What do you think about the European market in general and your friends in Europe? Did you expect such a high level of interest from overseas?
I don't know if I expected such a high level. I mean, first of all, I'm thrilled that we have so many fans overseas, and you know, meeting here with you has really opened my eyes into some of the opportunity on how we can better serve, whether it's German or other European customers. I think it's very interesting that a lot of European customers submit US games. I think that's the biggest surprise to me.
Okay.
Especially because I find European PAL games the most interesting. You know, for me, it's like very different, especially exclusives. But I'm surprised, but I'm also recognize that video games touched everyone in the world. You know,
For sure.
so it makes sense to a degree. But again, talking with you, I think there's better ways that we can serve overseas customers, German customers, and collectors in ways other than just, I mean, one of it is making it easier to get the games here. I know it's very costly, customs risk, the open games, all that stuff. So we're working to figure out how to make that go away or eliminate that risk, or at least mitigate it, make it much less of a risk, and more affordable. But I think the other part is the expertise. So we're very, you know, proud about the expertise we have for US games, and it's what we focused on, and it's also why we haven't rolled out new systems for a long time. Like, we didn't do modern until very recently, right? Yeah. One of the reasons is we didn't feel confident that we have the expertise, and I don't like that we're offering services that we don't have the expertise for. So it's one of the reasons that I think that we haven't offered more for European collectors for PAL games. I mean, we accept them, but more of a promotion of you know, more sizes for like PAL PS1 or...
One of my next questions.
So we'll get there, but the expertise is really important. Yeah. So we want to partner with folks like yourself or other people who really know and are passionate, and learn as much as we can before getting into new things.
I think it's the best way. Yeah. That's also my next question. How do you train your staff to create European games professionally? Do you work with European collectors to find out about the subtleties?
Yeah, so I jumped ahead of your question a little bit. That's how we do it, right? We don't ever offer something without feeling confident, right? So again, we do offer like the grading, but in a more, I'm talking about a more like purposeful campaign of saying, hey, we're grading all European stuff. We've put all this effort to creating the new sizes and that. I don't want to do that until we feel confident. So the way that we do that is by having these conversations. We have an entire research and authentication department, 2 separate departments actually. So those team members are dedicated to just researching or just authenticating games, and we would want to work with other collectors to make sure that we have everything considered. You know, this is very nuanced. There's a lot of subtleties, like you said. It is not the same. The way the games were sealed are not the same, whether it's the plastic or the tear strip or the boxes. There's a lot of these things that is very important to feel like we really understand the entire landscape before saying, oh yeah, we'll grade those too. You know.
So next question. Are there any plans to also create handhelds, consoles, PC big boxes, and special sizes in the future?
Yeah. I mean, the high level answer is yes. Okay. The more nuanced answer is everything there, step by step. There are, again, we don't want to get into PC big box until we feel confident about it. We want to focus on what we're best at. Also, PC big box is a challenge from an encapsulation standpoint, right? Sure. It's not as small. The smaller stuff, all in time.
PC DVD boxes and
all that stuff. And it's going to be prioritized based on, again, a combination of what we feel good about, expertise-wise, and then what there's the most demand for.
Sure.
You know, so we're not going to be creating a Sega Pico case anytime soon.
Yeah,
you know, because not a lot of people really want that. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Okay, great. And a European question. What about European special sizes like PlayStation 1,
Same thing.
Nintendo DS,
Same thing.
small box NES games?
That's actually probably sooner.
Okay.
But again, same thing. Like, I don't know if we'll be able to come out with all of that at once. Sure. We would, if we did, it would probably be, you know, maybe Europe PAL PS1 and, you know, some like maybe small box would be later, for example. Like it might not all be at one. Maybe it will. I don't. But the bottom line is we are going to create more offerings, and it just depends on the timing. Depends on demand and all the other stuff we talked about.
Awesome. Okay. Next question. Are there any plans to include European and Japanese games into your pop report?
That's a good question, and I'm glad you bring that up. Yes, there is. It's something that we have discussed. It wasn't necessarily a priority just because of a combination of how complex the data was, which is one of the reasons it took us so long to put out the pop reports to begin with. Yeah. The data that when we're putting it in versus what's actually in the databases was very different, and we've changed, you know, nomenclature and things like that. So everything had to really, hundreds of hours had to go into fixing the data and making it presentable. The PAL and Japanese data there's less, so it's probably doable, but we still have to go through that process. How it's going to be represented, we have to figure that out. But I definitely want to make sure that we don't forget about, you know, the games that are left off. Yeah.
Perfect. What is planned for the future? Can you give us some insights?
A lot. We have a lot in store, but I'll focus on one of the, you know, more service offerings, more systems, better, you know, pricing and international shipment options, things like that. But actual, you know, new product offerings that are immediate is our new case.
New case, really?
New case, yes. We've been working on it for some time, almost a year now. And, you know, we came out with what what we thought was the best at the time, and I think that it had a really big impact. It was very different, but we kept so much in mind in terms of presentation, most importantly security, and then from the label, the variant information, and all of that stuff. So we've had a lot of feedback also in 5 years, right?
Sure.
So we know how to make it better. And I think that this new case is going to really take a lot of that and put it into a pragmatic, practical solution that collectors, I hope and I believe, will love.
When it starts with new?
We're really hoping to launch it early in the new year, in 2023.
Wow, great news.
Yeah.
So, already the final question. Is there anything you would like to say to the German and European collectors?
Well, first of all, I would love to learn some more German. So if there's any language teachers out there watching this that are video game collectors, let me know. But really just that we, I don't want this to come off the wrong way. We didn't forget about you, We focused on what we had to get this off the ground, and we're always refining and always trying to improve the service. The tail end of before the acquisition was very difficult for us because of how much demand there was, the turnaround times. We were working so hard to get through and really meet customers' expectations. COVID made it so much harder. So even after the acquisition, we were focused so much on fixing the process, keeping the quality, increasing the quality, and essentially the core competency, right? Getting games accurately graded and quickly back in customers' hands. So now that we feel very good about the specialized departments and the quality of the grading and the authentication, and we feel very good about turnarounds. All the turnarounds currently are exceeding the estimates. The backlog has been cleared. So now we can really focus on catering to more collectors, right? We put all of those issues behind us, and I'm really excited, to offer more to German customers, to European customers, and it's at the forefront of what we're trying to do. So it's no longer, I'd like to do this, but I can't do it. It's we can do this now, and so we're going to start doing this, and I'm really excited for it.
Perfect. So thank you, Deniz, for having me.
Thank you, Tino.
Answering my questions.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate it, and thanks for your time. It was a great pleasure.
My pleasure. Thanks, and thanks to all of our supporters and fans in Europe and Germany. We really appreciate it.
Great.